Welcome back. We continue our discussion on the feasibility of fee-free education. Now, the Department of Higher Education and Training announced last year that the 2017 university fee increment would be capped at 8%. Meanwhile, the Fees Commission, which looks into the feasibility of free higher education, is continuing. And while making representations at the Fees Commission, the Democratic Alliance's Shadow Minister of Higher Education and Training, Professor Belinda Bozzoli, you heard her earlier, said that the party opposed students' calls for free higher education for all. Now, to talk to us about a Fess Must Fall movement and other things, we are now joined by Ramafala Ramatshosa from the Higher Education Transformation Network. A very good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
First and foremostly, what's your take on the DA's suggestion that there should be no free education for all? It must be a graded system.
Yes, you know, our position as the network has always been that free higher education should be for the poor and the marginalized. We are of the view that the moment that free higher education is being given to everyone, even those people from the rich families would be in a position to can now access this free higher education without paying anything. We know that as a country, there is still a huge difference between the poor and the rich, and we also know that as the status quo is that the rich are the ones who are able to access education. I mean, from the primary level until the universities, they are getting the best education that they want, whereas the poor and the marginalized are always in the periphery. So we believe that the starting point for free higher education should be for the poor, as we believe that it would be the tool that will be marginalizing them, and I mean, it would be the tool that would be releasing them from the periphery, and it will be the tool that will be liberating them.
So you agree with the graded system where the poor and the missing middle are provided free education, but the rich must pay. But what do you say to those student movements that are suggesting that free education for all?
You see, the call for free education for all, if we look at it at a realistic point of view, it's not possible for these particular reasons. To say, the moment you then say, let's give free higher education to everyone, you are then saying to those people who have got resources that you can relax. I mean, you would find a situation whereby these children from rich families, when they get to institutions of higher learning like they are doing now, they are already driving these beautiful cars, they have got flats, and the poor, rest of the poor are still struggling. Now we are saying, as a point of departure, let the poor, rest of the poor and the marginalized be the one who are receiving free higher education.
Are you confident that the Fees Commission will come with a system that will benefit all?
You see, the Fees Commission has to do, it has seen, and the submissions that has been made to it are the submissions that says, we want free higher education at our lifetime. Now, anything that would be deviating from that particular call would be something that the Fee Commission has just created on its own, because if it's a commission that is listening to the stakeholders, it would then express itself through its recommendations on what the majority of people have said there. And the majority people, what they are saying is that we want free higher education. And we are saying, as a country, ultimately we can realize free higher education, more so for the poor and the marginalized.
But the key word there is ultimately, not immediately.
Look, what is going to happen is that our government has shown that the concept of free higher education is possible. I mean, remember, in academic year 2016, the Minister of Higher Education and the President announced that there would not be any fee increment.
Yes.
Now the fees have been kept. So we are saying that it's progress, you know, it's one step at a time. But ultimately, we are, you know, patiently waiting for the Fees Commission to express itself.
Have you made recommendations to the Fees Commission?
You know, our recommendations are there, and we have said that we believe in this free higher education as a network. Yes.
Moving forward, what sort of model are you proposing to the Fees Commission? Exactly what we discussed, or was there more?
You know, what we have said to the Fees Commission is that, look, let us, as a point of departure, concentrate on these particular people who are the poorest of the poor. And we have said, how then do we get money to fund these people? We have said that there are people who have been funded by NSFAS until the stage who are graduates. Let those people pay back the money that they have been given. Second, we have said that the skills development levy has always been 1%. Let it be increased to 2%. And finally, we have said that the biggest people who are benefiting from students who are from institutions of higher learning is private sector. Most of the students go to private sector. Let private sector now start to contribute towards a free higher education.
In closing, what would be your predictions when the Fees Commission finally made their report known?
Our prediction is that the Fees Commission would say, come 2018, children from poor background, those who have been marginalized for a very long time, are going to enjoy their mana, and their mana would be free higher education.
Mr. Ramatshosa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir.
Was Ramafala Ramatshosa. He's very optimistic from the Higher Education Transformation Network, talking to us about the Fees Commission and the Fees Must Fall movement, and what do they expect. We'll take a short break, and in fact, we won't take a break. We'll go right after this to Eben and to continue.